Ready?
Timer.
What? Oh, yep. And we are live in 5, 4, 3.
The Binc Film Podcast in my average ass t-shirt because we don't wear logos.
Have you seen that video where they take the Duel of the Fates and they put subtitles on it?
Yes.
But it's not actually.
It's not actually what they say.
And it fits.
Let's get right into that in a second. First of all, thank you, and you, for tuning in for another episode of the Binc Film Podcast, no matter what time of the day, location, doesn't matter. Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it, whether you're watching, listening, and or both. It really means a lot to us that you took your time to be here today. We're going to be covering Star Wars, exclusively Star Wars. It's not May, but...
Wait, sorry. Before that, I know the audience that likes Star Wars usually does not like sports. This is not...
We're not doing this again.
It's not sports. I just have to show you one thing relevant to what we talked about last time, and it has to do with sports. And then we'll move on right after that.
What is it?
Real quick.
That is the creakiest chair.
So as many people probably don't know, we are in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Which means we're Vikings fans,
I covered that in the last episode.
Kind of. You more just talked about yourself the whole time. But anyway... If you recall, I go to the movies a lot.
Oh my God!
Kirk Cousins is our quarterback, right?
What do you mean, right? Yeah?
Okay. And before he was with the
Washington Redskins.
Washington Commanders, actually.
Oh my God.
Okay, but anyway, so back when that happened, you know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
You know?
No.
You know when it happened?
What is it?
When Kirk Cousins was born. I think it was Monday Night Football, maybe. I might be wrong. I think it was Monday Night Football.
Oh, you like that moment?
Big comeback.
Yeah.
After that happened, I thought it was so hilarious. And everyone was making memes and doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
He opened a temporary product line. And I bought one.
No, you didn't.
I did.
What?
And I have it right here.
What? Let me see this. Oh, no.
Drum roll. You like that? You like that? You like that? Is that awesome or what?
It's dumb, but
What do you mean it's dumb?
It's so stupid.
Look, you can see like the green around him from the green screen he was standing in front of.
Good Lord. You like that?
Yeah. But anyway,
like that?
I just wanted to show you that. We can move on to Star Wars.
So we decided to cover Star Wars because I watched the episode with you and Holly, and you covered Lord of the Rings. And I came in here and I was like, what in the hell? I love Lord of the Rings. Why wouldn't you have me on for Lord of the Rings? And seeing as I am now a co-host, I figured it would be...
Kinda.
We talked about this.
I mean, we didn't, but
okay,
go on.
Since I'm now almost a co-host, we figured it would be a good idea to talk about something that I'm also passionate about. Star Wars is one of those things, and it's a hot topic. It'll always be a hot topic. Star Wars was a hot topic from the moment it came out in the 70s, and we wanted to talk about it because a couple episodes of Ahsoka are out, and I'm going to give those time to marinate before I bring those up. But I wanted to jump on the Star Wars train and talk about some of the content that Star Wars has put out pre and post Disney acquisition, and get your thoughts on it. See what you think about Star Wars. Do you watch Star Wars? Have you watched a lot of Star Wars content?
I think I have seen everything Star Wars has put out except the Clone Wars and Rebels cartoons.
Fair enough. You're missing out.
I tried it. I just couldn't. I don't know. I want to because I want to see like how they did the Order 66 and all that stuff, but I can't watch 8 seasons of like bootleg Yoda.
It's a lot. Bootleg Yoda. It is a lot. I will say this. Clone Wars gets progressively better. It's very much a children's TV show when you first watch it. But it definitely gets better. And the last probably 3 or 4 seasons are very, very good. I grew up on Star Wars in a way that is probably pretty typical for my generation. I had seen episodes 4, 5, and 6. My dad had shown them to me. I knew what they were. I had watched them. And I remember my first most vivid Star Wars memory is my dad taking me to see episode 1. And that movie came out in 99, I believe, The Phantom Menace. So I was 8 years old when this movie came out. And my dad took me to a movie theater to see it. And I remember we showed up a little bit late. So the first scene I see of Star Wars Episode 1 is they're already...
Please tell me it's not Jar Jar.
No. Almost. They're stowing away on board the droid ships going down to the planet.
To see Jar Jar.
Exactly. And then Jar Jar happens not that long after. And then my aunt took me to see Episode 2, which I thought was the greatest thing since sliced bread when I saw it at the moment. Looking back, not so much.
You know what? That movie's underrated. The reason I say underrated is because it's so low rated.
Are we starting the bozo take thing now?
We could.
Because you deserve some clown shoes for that one. That is the worst period Star Wars period content period ever period.
All right, let me put on my bozo nose. I would rather watch Clone Wars than episode 4, 5, or 6.
How?
Because those movies
We just lost every listener and viewer right there on that take. They're all gone now because that is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my life. You've lost the plot. Are you kidding me? I hate sand. It's rough and it's coarse and it gets everywhere. That one, I slaughtered them like animals. That episode.
It's because the old movies, the originals, are just so old now that...
Bro, that...
Dude,
can't be a thing.
If you go and put on episode 4, 5, or 6 right now...
It rocks.
It's because of nostalgia.
Negative.
Period.
Okay. Do the Indiana Jones films? Those came out around a similar time period.
Nostalgia.
You're cracked. You're cracked. This is not real. We're gonna fight on screen. This is insane. You're telling me that episode 2, the clone... Okay, you know what? I gotta level myself out here.
Movies? You're cut off. Movies do not age well, generally speaking. Right?
That's not true.
All movies.
That's not true.
It is true.
How are you gonna...
Because technology advances. Because we talked about The Matrix. It does not age well. That's not a rip on any movie. That's not a dig. It's a fact. Technology gets better.
Yes.
And you go back and watch old movies, and it does not look very good by comparison.
Okay, but that doesn't change anything about the story and the wonder that the film inspires. That's what Star Wars is.
But if you were someone that had never seen Star Wars, what's the best Star Wars movie? Just quick. Of the original.
Empire.
Okay, Empire. If you had someone who had never seen Star Wars, sat down and watched that movie, well, then people are going to be like, well, they haven't seen the other ones. Okay, fine. You watch the whole original trilogy. I would be willing to bet money that 99% of people that sit down and watch that movie are going to go, this is unwatchable.
Empire?
All of them.
No.
All of them. Yeah, he's waving right now. Okay, ready? I'm going to act this out for you guys. You ready?
Please don't.
Let me find a prop.
This is going terribly.
Ready?
He's mimicking a lightsaber for our listeners.
Strike me down, Darth.
That's not what he says.
Something like that. What does he say?
If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can imagine.
If you strike me down, I shall become more...
He says you can't win, Darth. If you strike me down,
okay,
I shall become more powerful.
I was close enough.
Okay. All right, point proven. Oh, not really, but I'll cede it to you just to move on.
You remember Family Guy when they
We're
make
on
fun
a
of that?
time limit here.
No, just listen. You remember Family Guy when he's got the limp dick lightsaber?
Yeah, because it's Herbert
That's
the pervert.
how I
That's the
remember
joke.
that scene in real life. And for the record, I love Star Wars, but those
we can
movies
tell.
are so old. They are so old,
Okay.
and that's fine. It's okay.
We got to push past this.
It's okay if the...
We got to push past this.
You'll not strike me down, Darth. And
Yeah.
then he just...
Ah, it's
and
always-
then he just... He just vanishes, and Luke's like, ah! And the music's like, beep, beep, beep. And it's like, that doesn't fit at all what's happening right now.
Stop. Take my man John Williams out of this. He doesn't deserve to be in this equation.
Okay, he had very limited time to write that score. I'm not ripping on John Williams. I'm just saying it didn't age well, and that's okay. It's not supposed to age well.
Okay, from a lightsaber combat standpoint and some of the effects, yeah, they don't age well because it was the 70s and the 80s.
Yes, that's my point.
But that's what I'm saying. It doesn't take away from the film as a whole, as a story. It doesn't take away. Bro,
nobody watches a movie from 50 years ago and goes, that movie wasn't very good. But the story, man, the story was so good you should go watch it.
It's not that the movie wasn't good. The movie was good.
For its time.
Even now, it's a good movie. You can watch Star Wars today and go, that's a good movie.
He's shaking his head right now.
So we're going to move on. Because
Live long and prosper.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. I have no beef with Star Trek, by the way. I have no beef with Star Trek. Star Trek is just fine. It's another fantastic show in movies. I even enjoy the newer Star Trek movies.
I think there's a threshold for how much someone's willing to
Hate themselves.
endure something that's so
Here's the thing.
old it's basically a relic.
Oh my God. There's so many old films that still like Alien and Aliens, like those are good movies, even though you can look at some of the CGI and be like, well, that's not very good. Like, well, yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean the movie's not good.
I think the problem is that,
dude, there's so many old movies that like The Shining, like Gone with the Wind, the Great Dictator, like these are all really good films.
Can you guys add something in there for me?
What?
Alien is what got me into filmmaking 29 years ago,
Okay.
and that movie's unwatchable today.
okay, I got
That's
it.
not true.
I got it. I got
That's not true.
Save that. Okay. Let me just point this out, okay? My brother,
Our director,
the director of Binc Film,
not the producer. I got my hand slapped for that last time.
Alien is
Yes.
what got him into filmmaking.
Because it's phenomenal.
29 years ago.
Because it's phenomenal. That's my point. Old films.
And in his words, nowadays.
Don't say in his words. Michael, what's your thoughts of Alien?
Here.
In 2023, that
Yes.
movie is pretty unwatchable.
That's not true. That's not true. It's objectively not true.
I think the problem is that you're taking offense at the fact that that
I'm not
technology
offended.
advances.
Okay. For those of you who are watching and listening to this, it sounds like I'm screaming. I am. I'm not at all. I idle at 95. So going to 100 does not take very much for me. And this is a subject that I'm passionate about. You're allowed to have your opinions. If you think episode 2 is awesome,
I never said that.
bro, if you think
I never said episode 2 was awesome. I never said that.
if you think episode 2 is better,
Josh, let me clear this up for you
What?
quick. It is 1000% nostalgia.
no, it's not.
Because during its time, it was fantastic, but times change. Eric had mentioned
Okay.
that technology changes.
Wait,
but
wait.
No, just wait. Technology changes, but that's not just it, because he had mentioned all movies don't age well. Well, if you think about like a romantic comedy, there's no technology in that other than the resolution of the film.
Okay.
My point is that the way we look at the world in general changes, the way that we
Yes.
feel about certain topics
Yes.
changes. When you have something that not only does the story not fit in 2023, but the graphics are so ass that it's unwatchable.
How-
The fight sequences are so bad.
Okay, stop right there.
Acting is so bad.
Bring the microphone back.
You'll not strike me down.
No. You're gonna sit there and you're gonna tell me that the story. You said the story doesn't fit in 2023. It's about space wizards.
He's speaking generally.
How does
he's
that?
speaking
No.
generally.
Well, generally he's wrong. Because the story has nothing to do with the time frame.
Okay.
It's fucking. That's like the Little Mermaid. That's like saying the Little Mermaid has no place in 2023. It's about a talking fish lady.
I'm going to give you a comparison.
Okay.
A comparison from a sane person that loves Star Wars. I watched The Fellowship of the Ring
Good movie.
with my ex-girlfriend
Sorry to hear that.
back then. And during the movie, it's like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this movie's so good. She has no idea what's going to happen to Gandalf pretty soon here. And then it does this camera zoom, or rather it pulls back, and they're in the Mines of Moria, and it cuts from practical effects
To green screen.
to straight CGI.
Yep.
And I was sitting there like this. You ready? I'm watching the movie, and I go, oh, God, that doesn't... She might check out. This might be like that does not look very good anymore.
The green.
And
are you
that's
talking about
okay.
Are you talking about the part with the Balrog when he comes
right before that?
Yeah, when he jumps out of the fire and they're clearly running in front of a green screen.
No. It's when they're in the room with all the pillars and they're getting surrounded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which I thought looked fine. I think it still looks fine. The point I'm trying to make here
I think
is
you are.
we got so far off topic. I
We
forgot
didn't get
what the
off
fuck we were
topic.
talking about.
This is not off. We're talking about Star Wars.
But you got me so involved in that. I did not think.
Tell him to stick to acting.
Tell him to stick to acting.
stick to acting.
Okay. I haven't acted in a film for you yet. I'm kind of hoping to change
Well,
that soon.
Do you think you could do better than this? You'll not strike me down.
If we go back to
dog.
that, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna start my car and I'm gonna leave.
When we're done with this, I'm pulling up that scene for you, and
You're missing the point.
No,
man.
you're missing the point because you're too attached.
Here's the thing.
You're getting offended by it.
He says, "You can't win, Darth. If you strike me down, I shall become more powerful than you can imagine." The point I'm trying to make is that these films, that original 3, it created something that had never been done before.
I agree.
It was this space epic, and
I
it
agree.
created this whole world.
But
The
that doesn't
entire
make
universe,
it immune.
Yes, it is not immune to criticism. I'm gonna rip into
I'm
Star
not talking
Wars.
about criticism. I'm talking about time and technology.
This is gonna have to be 2 or 3 episodes. I'm just saying, man. We have a 30-minute time limit. How far are we into this?
16, almost 17
Not
minutes.
a shot in hell we cover this in 30 minutes. Not a chance. I was trying to push it along, but you kept coming at me with the wrong lines and the wonky lightsabers.
The fact that you know that line exact is proof that the movie's too sentimental to you.
It's not that it's sentimental. You have to understand. You guys are saying that the movie isn't good anymore because it's old. I saw it when it was old.
As
It
a
made
kid.
me want. No, the first.
How old were
I
you?
saw it when I was younger. Yeah.
You saw
but
the
the first
episode
time-
1 before the originals?
No, I saw the originals first, but
So you were
when I
less
was,
than 8 years old. That's pretty
no.
young.
When I was able to actually,
What are you laughing? Yeah, see, he's watching it right now. It's garbage.
it doesn't look
Today, it is garbage.
He's like, and then he does like a twirl where he's taking several steps.
He's
Yeah.
also a dinosaur in that segment of the film. Why does nobody touch on that? He wants Vader killing. Oh my God, Vader killing him is what he wants in that scene. That's why he says it. Okay, that's a plot hole too. You wouldn't want to reveal what happens there, but
Yeah, it's
oh my God,
didn't age well.
it didn't. Okay,
It didn't age well.
I can acknowledge that certain scenes did not age well. The lightsaber fights do not look as good in the older films. I 110% agree with you. The only one that looks even remotely decent is the final fight between Vader and Luke.
Agree.
That is actually a really powerful scene.
That scene aged pretty well.
It aged okay.
If you go back and watch it, now it aged okay.
I can acknowledge that certain things don't look good today. I know that. The ships flying in space where it looks like a dude holding sticks with X-Wings on them moving around. Yeah, I know.
No, man, it looks good because it was iconic.
I didn't say that, Eric.
You implied it.
I hate this episode. This is my least favorite episode. If we're still doing this 5, 10, 20 years from now, I'm going to look back on this episode and say this is the day where I contemplated continuing the Binc
No,
Film
this
podcast.
this was the day where you considered striking me down.
My God.
Okay, we'll move on from that.
So, all right, let's jump into this. Let's take a hard shift topic. What is your favorite pre-Disney acquisition Star Wars content, and what is your favorite post-Disney acquisition Star Wars content?
Okay, so the acquisition was
And why?
Rogue One was the new was Disney, right?
Yes.
That's when it switched, right?
Episode 7, Force Awakens, was the first Disney content.
That was before Rogue One?
Yes.
Okay.
I actually think that some of the Clone Wars seasons might have been the first.
Okay, well, we won't touch those because I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and stay off of the animated shorts and series, and try and keep it to the live action stuff. That takes nothing away from Clone Wars, Bad Batch, and Rebels, which are all phenomenal, and I really, really suggest you watch them. Bad Batch in general, or in particular, is really good, and the last 2 seasons of Clone Wars are
Okay, we'll
really good.
stick to movies first.
Go ahead.
Pre-Disney. In fact, not just pre-Disney, but still today, I think the best Star Wars movie is Revenge of the Sith.
It's really good. I like it.
My cat's sneezing right now. You good, dude?
Alan.
You good? He looks like he's about to get struck down.
He's like hanging in there. Jeez.
Yeah.
Does he do that normally?
Sometimes, yeah.
He's been doing a lot lately.
I know. It's probably because you opened the window the other day.
Does he have allergies?
Yeah. Okay, so anyway,
If
Star
you're listening,
Wars.
this cat's name is Alan, and I think that's the perfect name for a cat.
It is.
Alan.
It is.
He's really just sneezing.
He is. Okay, anyway, Revenge of the Sith.
He's not done yet.
is-
I'm just letting you know. We're probably gonna have to cut this out because he is just.
Well, if you would stop talking about it, we could just keep going.
You can hear it, bro.
You can't hear it. There's no way they're gonna hear that.
They just did.
So, Revenge of the Sith, I
Yes.
think, is the best Star Wars movie still.
Really?
I do.
Overall.
Overall.
Interesting. Okay. I don't think that's a bad take necessarily, mind you.
I just.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that a-
that's not a bozo
that's
take.
not a bozo take?
was episode 2.
I think that the movie has the most, we'll say, depth to it. There's, what do you mean,
I mean, I see where you're coming from, for sure. It's a good film. I like episode 3.
Episode 3 covers the entire destruction of the Jedi, the rise of the Empire, the fate of Anakin, how Obi-Wan becomes who he is, Yoda,
Yeah.
all these characters. There's so many things that happen in that movie in such a short amount of time.
The only thing that takes me out of episode 3 on occasion is it's still got some just really cheesy shit in it.
Yeah, they all do.
And they all do. And it's fine to a degree, but some of it is just downright bad acting.
What's the worst in episode 3?
In episode 3, there's 2 moments that stand out to me. 2 moments that just rip me out of it completely. And it's Anakin after he throws Mace Windu out of the window and he's like, "What have I done?" And he just falls to his knees. It just the delivery didn't sell me at all. And then the worst offender is Natalie Portman, right? Who plays Padme. That is Natalie Portman?
Yeah.
Okay. When she goes to Mustafar and she finds Anakin and Anakin's like, "You liar!" And he force chokes her and she's like, "No."
You know what?
No!
Even though what he's doing there is really corny, I felt like he was really into that
He
part.
was, and he did great in that part, but when he releases her and she just and just falls over, I was like, "Oh my God." Like, it just took me out of it. Now, the rest of the film is absolutely fantastic. It's just there's little bitty slices of sharp cheddar sprinkled throughout it, and it has nothing on episode 2 because episode 2 was just cheese all over the place, and episode 1 has its fair share too. But I think episode 3 is a really good movie. I love it as a Star Wars movie.
The
I
music
rewatch it.
in that movie.
Oh yeah, that final duel between Obi-Wan and Anakin, that is so good. And Hayden Christensen, people give him shit, but that last scene when he's fighting Obi-Wan and "I hate you," like that sold it so good. I thought that was great.
Okay,
And
so post Disney.
yeah, post Disney, that's the new one.
So post Disney would be Rogue One. I'm listing them. Rogue One, Han Solo, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, those
Am I
are
missing any?
Rogue One, Han Solo, 7, 8, 9, The Mandalorian.
For movies.
Oh, we're just doing strictly movies?
Yeah. To start.
Yeah, then those are the films. Yeah, Rogue One, Rogue One, Solo, 7,
Okay.
8, 9.
I would have to say probably Rogue One
It's a good choice.
and then probably episode 7.
And see, and
Even though it's A New Hope.
so
Part 2.
right, and I'll get to that here. So from the pre-Disney acquisition, my favorite is probably Empire Strikes Back, because it was the first movie that I had watched when I was younger. I think I was the first time I watched it and really was able to understand it and take it in as a movie. I was in my teenage years, and I remember watching it, and it kind of hit me. I was like, this is one of the first movies I've seen, one of the only movies I've seen where you're left at the end of it going like, the bad guy won. Like, that movie ends with the Empire clearly coming out on top. The movie starts with the rebel base on Hoth being absolutely torn to pieces by the Empire. And then Luke confronts the big bad villain and gets the hell beat out of him and loses a hand because of it. Like, that movie didn't end on a high note for the Rebel Alliance. Like, it was, okay, this is bad. We just got stomped into the dirt. But post-Disney acquisition, my favorite film is probably Rogue One as well. And so the first time I saw Rogue One, I didn't particularly care for it. I remember me and my buddy, we bought these Imperial officer costumes online, and we went to the midnight premiere dressed as Imperial officers because we're fucking stupid. There's no other description for it. And I remember leaving the movie going, it was all right. It was all right. That last scene with Vader was fire, but the rest of the film was just okay. And every time I've watched that movie since, it gets better and better and better and better, and I love it.
So I don't want to talk about The Last Jedi until we can get all three of us, me, you, and Troy, because him and I go at it over that movie.
Okay.
But
I would be down to postpone that discussion. So
just
for those of you watching and listening, this Star Wars conversation is going to be multiple parts. When we get all of them together, we'll put it in its own separate playlist so you can watch us slit each other's throats in sequence. So
I just wanted to share one quick little thing about it.
Okay.
Which that movie was officially when Star Wars died for me. And I'm sitting at the theater. A friend invited me to the midnight showing, and I'm like,
I went to the midnight showing too.
I was like, oh yeah, whatever. Okay, let's do it. Like, I was so excited to see Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at the theater, and it's like, what is he going to do with the lightsaber? You know, and he throws it.
Heaves it over his
kinda
shoulder, yeah.
Well, that's not what I was expecting. But anyway, there's a part in that movie when they're at the, I'm blanking on the name, the casino
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
that was
Casino
like an
Planet.
hour long. I'm sitting there watching that movie, and I look over at my friend, Sam, and I say, this is kind of boring. And like, I was fighting it internally. I was like, no, it's not boring. It's great. It's like the Darth Vader Obi-Wan fight in episode 4. I'm like, it's not terrible. It's great. It's great. And I was just like,
I appreciate that subtle snap at me there. Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But also, fuck you. Continue.
But I was just like, I can't. It's just kind of boring. And then
I had the same thought.
everything after that was kind of, I mean, obviously episode 9 was like they straight up Game of Thrones gave up at that point.
We'll go into those. We'll go
Yeah.
into those. I had the same response. I saw episode 9 at the midnight release, and I was married at the time, and I was driving back home with my then wife, and we were sitting in the car, and I was just quiet. And I was like trying
I was
to like
so mad.
I
the
was
next
trying
day.
to think about it, and I was just like, what really happened there? And I think I remember her asking me, she's like, so what'd you think? And I
Oh,
remember
no.
going, I don't know. And
Yeah,
it was the first time I didn't know what to think of that film. And I saw it twice because I wanted to like, let me go into this. Let me, clean slate the brain. We'll go try this again. Let me see what it's like. And I left again, and it was worse the second time around. I was just like, what the hell?
I was similar experience. I was driving home by myself, and I was just thinking about it, and I was
Yeah.
like, was that dull or was that like terrible?
Yeah, there was really no way to know.
I was just bouncing back and
Yeah.
forth, and I remember waking up the next day for work, and I was thinking about it, and I got to work, and I'm doing my thing, and I'm like, no, that was terrible. That was not Star Wars.
It wasn't good.
That was not.
It wasn't good. I think it's going to be one of those films. It had good parts in it, right?
And that's the argument that Troy makes, because he comes from a background where he didn't watch Star Wars growing up. So he went into these movies kind of as an outsider.
Yeah.
So he thought it was great.
Right. Do we want to stop right here? Because this is a really good topic we have going on here. Do we want to make this a two-parter? Do you want to make it a two-parter? We're just going to keep rolling. If it's a fucking hour, it's an hour?
Preferably not, no.
But we can cut it into two parts is what I'm saying.
We'll go another 8-ish minutes.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up.
I'll be right back.
So my whole thing is I don't have any problem with taking chances, right? You saw what playing safe gets you. It's episode 7. And when I saw episode 7, I thought it was really good. I really, really enjoyed it.
I did too the first time I saw it.
And I know it's essentially just a modern take of A New Hope. I know. I get that. My whole thought process behind that is if I'm J.J. Abrams and Disney comes up to me and goes, here's Star Wars. Don't fuck it up. I'm just going to, okay. And there's multiple directors involved. You're not going to be directing the movie after this. Okay. I'm going to set up something real simple, really, really intense bad guy, really, really likable good guys. Something that's already been done, but we'll put a nice little clean coat of paint on it, put it out the door, and everybody will have a good time. And it had moments of really, really cool shots, and it had some of that, witty Marvel humor in it, but it didn't overdo it, and it was fun. And I remember when the first time I watched that film, and Poe runs up over the hill and he sends that blaster shot at Kylo Ren, and Kylo just whips around and freezes it in midair. I remember going, oh, he's real.
Yeah.
Oh, he's real.
Yep.
And I was excited to see where it went. I went and saw that movie 4 or 5 times in theaters. Not because I was like, oh, this is some masterpiece of cinema, but because it had me so excited for what was to come next. I was so ready for more Star Wars. It got me hyped for Star Wars again in a way that I had never been. And obviously we know what happens after that. The fan base is really divided. I don't think people who think The Last Jedi is good are wrong. There's good things about it, and if you like that style of film, the direction they were going, yeah, I can see why people would like it. My whole thing, and I'm kind of rambling here, so bear with me, but I think I didn't like what they did with Kylo Ren and Rey because they set it up to have an actually somewhat interesting ending to them. So in episode 8, when Rey is with Luke on that planet, and she finds that I guess it's a pathway to the dark side, or this vessel to the dark side, and she falls into it, and Luke is like shocked. He's like, you didn't even try to stop it, and you just went straight to it. It shows that there's this dark side to Rey, right? And then Kylo in episode 7, sitting next to Darth Vader's helmet, says, I feel it again, that call to the light. Help me, grandfather. And I think you have an opportunity there to have this really interesting, 2 turncoats kind of idea where maybe Rey does fall to the dark side. Because if you want to play the bullshit, oh, she's Palpatine's granddaughter. And Kylo, being the son of a light side force user, they could swap just as easily. And they even set it up in episode 8. When they're standing on the elevator, when Rey shows up and turns herself over, and Rey's like, I've seen your future, you'll turn. And Kylo goes, no, I've seen your future, you'll turn. What if they're both right? What if they're both right? That would have been infinitely more interesting than what we got in episode 9.
I think it's important to point out, like you said, that some people liked it, and that's fine. Because, it's too late because I'm already probably being violently attacked in the comments.
Oh, dude. Especially the shorts that Michael's going to make on this.
Oh, yeah, I'm toast.
You and I are getting carved up. We thought the Sound of Freedom clips got us barbecued. This is going to get bad. I'm going to get doxxed. People are going to show up at my work.
I just wanted to say that, obviously, all film is subjective.
Absolutely.
But on that note, it is a fact that if you strike me down,
Stop this.
it is not very good.
All right.
But anyway,
We got to wrap this up.
real quick, just give me your ranking of the best and the worst Star Wars TV shows.
Oh, TV shows? Best, in no particular order, the best,
No, in an order.
I can't give you an order.
Just give me the best and the worst.
Mandalorian, Clone Wars, Kenobi for best.
Wait, that was like 3 different ones.
That was 3 shows. You said 3 best. Did you not say 3 best,
No,
or did I just interpret that?
Give me the best.
Oh, the best and the worst.
The worst.
TV shows?
That's what I said.
Yes. Mandalorian, and then, like I said, I want to give Ahsoka some time to marinate before I really make an opinion on that. I'm gonna go with probably Boba Fett.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I'll say Boba Fett it was very disappointing.
It was just kind of dull. Like, I don't think it was inherently like, oh wow, this is awful.
Well, they got
I
like
saw
the
some
emo
people saying.
biker gang, like with their
See,
polished.
And that's what I mean. There's parts of that show that are badass, and there's parts of that show that are just not good. I always describe it like this, and I don't mean to cut you off. I go back and rewatch episodes of The Mandalorian and Kenobi and Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch. I watched every Boba Fett episode once, and I've never gone back. I watch clips from the episodes that The Mandalorian is in, that Din Djarin's in, because those are the interesting ones. Everything else about that show, I really didn't particularly care.
I have a bozo take.
Oh, 2 in 1 episode.
And this is, I mean, it's not really a bozo take because it's my
I'll
own.
be the judge of that. Go ahead.
It's my own personal opinion, and I know that I am alone in this opinion.
I'm
But-
excited. Continue.
But I will also say that it is 100%, 100% based on nostalgia. The Obi-Wan show is my favorite of the shows.
I don't think that's necessarily a terrible take.
And I know that show is not very good.
It's all right.
Like Leia running,
I thought that show was just fine.
you know?
It had a little bit of the Boba Fett syndrome where there were parts where it was just kind of boring.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a whole lot happening, but I thought it was entertaining.
I would watch Ewan McGregor work in that terrible...
Oh, the fucking meat market.
Yeah, I would just watch that for 6 episodes and be happy.
It wasn't a terrible show, and I think its biggest redeeming quality was obviously the end with the fight between him and Vader.
Yeah.
That obviously saved what was a rather mediocre to below average show.
I felt like it started really strong and then just kind of...
It did. It started strong, and then it had these weird, middle episodes where nothing really happened, and then it ended really strong. So, I mean, if you got strong bookends, I'll sit through some crap in the middle, but it's like you said, there was some really entertaining stuff, and there wasn't some really entertaining stuff. So.
Well, we should get things wrapped up here because we are going to be recording some very special...
Oh, yeah, we got bonus content.
Special bonus content.
Spotify exclusive content, says the director,
Exclusive
sneakily from behind the camera.
to our biggest fans on Spotify.
I believe it's fan at this point. We're working on that.
Don't speak like... Just stop.
Okay.
We don't include you in the fans. For none of our fans... See what I did there?
Yeah.
Okay. It just wasn't funny.
No, that's fine.
It was all right.
I get you.
Okay. You're still butthurt about the Obi-Wan Kenobi thing. Anyway, we're going to be recording some special bonus material where we read and react to your comments.
The
Both.
highs and the lows.
The highs and the lows. The really great, nice ones, and the other ones where you come at me with a knife. We're gonna check those out and discuss them.
And we've had an episode where people got wild in the comments section.
I think we were the ones being wild.
I thought when we started doing this, I was like, this is okay. I don't give a shit what people say about me. And for the most part, I don't. But when we did that Sound of Freedom episode and I read some of those comments, I wasn't like, oh my God, how dare you? I was just like, Jesus Christ, man. Wow. Like, how did you get to that
It's
point?
like these people do not know us at all.
It was wild. I think we hid some of them because some of them were just outlandish. Like,
I'm gonna blame the director and how he cut the shorts.
he did. Well, okay.
He
Michael,
painted
that
us.
was your fault.
He's laughing right now, crying behind the camera.
Yeah, that was your fault.
He made
used-
us look like nut jobs.
He did. He used these, clickbait catchy titles, and then the way he chopped them, we had people Nobody liked us.
I was
that
second
episode.
guessing myself. I
Nobody-
watched one and I'm like, did I say that? Is that
Yeah.
how I said that?
Nobody liked us. We had people like, I can't believe you right-wing extremists. What were you there on the 6th and trying to subjugate the presidency?
And then right below that is someone
Some guy
calling you
us
woke.
a pedophile. It was the weirdest thing in the world. It's like, these guys are trying to overthrow the government with the rest of the conspirators. These dudes are fucking kids. And I'm like, what? What is wrong with you people?
Oh, all right. Let's do a little intro or outro.
Yeah, so let's wrap it up. Again, thank you, each and every one of you. If you're watching, listening, and or both, it is so very much appreciated. There's not a whole lot of free time for a lot of people these days, so it really means a lot to us that you would take that free time that you have and spend it with us. So thank you so very much. This is, once again, been the Binc Film Podcast with your co-host / guest, Joshua Rivers. Across from me is Eric Gordonberg and our director and producer, Michael Darwinberg. You can find them on socials with their names, Eric Gordonberg, Michael Darwinberg, on all forms of social media. I can't remember which ones they're on and not on. You can't find Binc Film on Instagram. It's been banned there, but you can find us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. You can find myself on TikTok and Instagram under the handle Stop That Rivers. And as always, it's always fun doing this. I love the chance to get to do this. I'm sure the rest of you guys love getting the chance to do this. Yeah. So until next time, it's been fun.
I go to the movies a lot.
He goes to the movies a lot.